The dream come true dollars, the 2.5-mile high bank speedway has accommodations and a schedule of year-round events. Between events, the 450-acre speedway waits. The pit walls are empty. The garages are still, but not for long. Weeks before the racing season starts, the quiet, clean garages come to life. They get their first taste of oil and grease stains, feel the weight again of 200-pound men and 4,000-pound cars. And the sound of mechanics at work and engines revving fills the low. 3 weeks, 2 weeks, only a week to go. There never seems to be enough time to set up the stock cars before the race. Under NASCAR regulations, only modifications for the safety of car and driver are permitted. Everything has to be right. Everything has to stay right. And the only way to be sure is to get out and run. Practice begins. The top drivers in the country are on hand to measure the cars and themselves on this great speedway. Indianapolis winners are here. Roger Ward, A.J. Foyt, Troy Ruttman, and the fastest qualifier in Indianapolis history, Parnelli Jones. Speeds climb to a fantastic 166 miles an hour. NASCAR champion Joe Weatherly keeps an eye on the clock and the competition. Fireball Roberts, last year's winner. What will it take this year? All former 500 winners are here. Junior John Richard. All former winners are here, that is, except Marvin Panch. A week before the big race, Panch flipped on the track in a sports car and was pulled to safety in a heroic rescue by Tiny Lund. Marvin Panch, recovering but not able to drive, asked that Tiny take his place for the 500 in Ford number 21. Tiny has been racing 18 years without a major win. Crew chief and car owner Glenn Wood put it this way.
We wanted him to drive, one thing, because Marvin suggested it, and two, you have to have a good driver. And Tiny always hard, and we figured he could do it. And a lot of the boys don't make a good showing because they don't have a good car.
Mechanics and drivers agree. It takes a good driver and a car with total performance to win. And this means super performance engines with super stamina engineering built into the car. A car's lifetime will be compressed into 3.5. Total performance means the right lubrication. According to NASCAR regulations, only motor oils available to any motorist at service stations can be used. But the drivers, whose lives and livelihoods are at stake, always select the best they can get. There are 69 entries here for the upcoming 500-mile race, with only 50 available spots, and everybody wants in. This is the first big test of the new model cars. Qualification races are run to determine which 50 cars will be in the big race, and in what order. Some try too hard. After a week of time trials, the story is told. The starting field of 50 cars for the 500 has been chosen. For the others, the months of preparation and hopes lie strewn on the garage floor. day. And the fans, motorists all, have come to this great automotive show from every state in the Union. Competition cars move out of the garage and impound area for fuel and last-minute NASCAR inspection. The cars are all limited to 22-gallon gas tanks, and they're going to have to get maximum power and mileage from every gallon. And then it's onto the track, lining up in the pit area, 2 by 2. An investment of over $1 million, ready as they ever will be. But something else is here, too, and it could be trouble. A tricky crosswind, almost a gale, whips across the track. Does this mean rain or just hazardous running? With an apprehensive eye on the weather, the drivers and crews wait for the 1 o'clock starting time. Some try to relax and chat. Some just wait out the time, whatever the weather, like Tiny Lund.
I just figured that I had this chance. I mean, I never said to anybody how I felt, but that was what I told my wife.
A few minutes before starting time, dark, rain-heavy clouds swoop in over the speedway. And it rains. Cover up and take cover. An hour goes by. The rain is still coming down, harder than ever. But then, the very wind that was a threat carries the storm away. The sky begins to lighten. The gusts subside. The crowd lets out a roar. There will be a race. The cars can be dried off quickly, but the track roadway will take a little time. Too late a start may mean a shortened race. Bill France calls a drivers' meeting. To get going, the men agree to run the first 10 laps under the caution flag and dry off the track. Dick Dolan, Pure Oil's director of automotive events, gets the word from Bill France and takes Miss Firebird on a tour around the track as a signal to the happy fans that the race will soon be on. The cars move on to the course for the caution laps. Holding their positions and their speed to 90 miles an hour, they circle the track 10 times. The pace car pulls away into the pits. The green flag drops. And they're off on lap 11, full speed ahead. 50 of Detroit's best are on their way. 17 Pontiacs, 14 Fords, 6 Chevrolets, 5 Mercurys, 5 Plymouths, 2 Dodges, and 1 Chrysler. The leaders set a pace of nearly 167 miles an hour, and the field strings out behind them. A 500-mile race isn't a test of speed alone. The payoff is in driving skill and durability. Before the race is an hour old, the pace takes its toll. Junior Johnson in number 3 Chevrolet loses a push rod. Goldsmith in 01 Pontiac blows his engine. In the first 150 miles, the lead changes 12 times. Bunky Blackburn in number 10 Pontiac runs out of iron in the backstretch. Cars pit frantically for fuel, tires, repairs. More trouble in the backstretch. How does it feel to lose it at 160 miles an hour? Like nothing in this world. Time lost or gained in the pits can mean the race. With a possible 100 miles per tank full, crews plan a total of 4 quick stops for refueling. You're in trouble if you lift the hood. The grueling afternoon wears on. The grandstands throw long shadows across the track. 02 Pontiac blows a tire at 165 miles an hour. A.J. Foyt, in a magnificent example of driving skill, guides the car into the infield out of traffic. Jim McGurk in number 05 Pontiac comes into the pits the hard way. At the halfway mark, it's a new race. Only 30 cars are left on the track. Bobby Johns in number 7A Pontiac and Freddie Lorenzen in number 28 Ford fight a duel for the lead. Ned Jarrett in number 11 Ford is moving up in 3rd place. Close behind are Roberts in 22 Pontiac and Lund in 21 Ford. In 6th, 7th, and 8th are Petty in 43 Plymouth, Dan Gurney in number 0 Ford, and Nelson Stacy in 29 Ford. Johns in 7A goes all out and charges into 1st place. Comes into the pits for his 3rd scheduled stop. He's in and out in a half a minute. Uh-oh, something's happened to Johns. He's slowing down. He's out of gas. He coasts into the pits. Jarrett pulls up alongside of Lorenzen as Freddie slows down to make his 3rd pit stop. Jarrett is the new leader. The low sun is beginning to bother the drivers. As Lorenzen comes in, Tiny Lund also makes his 3rd pit stop. Johns is still in the pits. Can't get started. Bobby Johns' father, his crew chief, has to prime the engine. There's a fire. Fuel vapors burst into flame. The fire is put out without serious injury to the car or to Papa John. At 350 miles, Lorenzen and Jarrett are running 1 and 2. And Lund are drafting in positions 3 and 4. Drafting saves fuel. The second car moves in as close as possible to the car in front and is pulled along by the vacuum, bumper to bumper. The first car pulling, the second pushing. At 392 miles, the leaders make their 4th pit stop. They've been averaging only 98 miles per tank full because of the terrific speeds. They have 108 miles to go. They all pit except Tiny Lund, who keeps going. Lorenzen roars away after Tiny. Jarrett gets out of the pits in a hurry. Lorenzen's crew asks, what is Lund using for gas? 3 precious laps. 7.5 miles later, Tiny pits and gives up the lead to Lorenzen and Jarrett. Tiny hasn't changed a tire in 4 pit stops. He's out and away in 34 seconds. For the last 100 miles, it's Lorenzen number 28 Ford, Jarrett number 11 Ford, Lund 21 Ford, all out in front. In 4th and 5th, it's Nelson Stacy, number 29 Ford, and Dan Gurney, number 0 Ford. It's a battle of the Fords. Only 18 miles from the checkered flag. Lorenzen, the leader, is pitting. He's coming in for gas. A 9-second pit stop. Some service station. Tiny Lund is now riding in first. Jarrett is drafting in second. Garrett's team worries. His tank must be empty. He's gone 100 miles since his last stop. Lorenzen is 24 seconds behind Lund and Jarrett. 3 laps to go, and it's Jarrett pitting for gas, streaking past Lund's crew, who scents victory. 10 seconds. 15 seconds. Let's go! Jarrett, a man in a hurry. Tiny Lund has a firm hold on first place, if his fuel will hold out.
It's a strange feeling when you're that close to victory, a race that big. And then with 1 lap to go, all I could do is I just hoped that I wouldn't run out of gas. And I think I said a prayer or two in that last lap, and I made it.
The crowd hails a tremendous victory for the driver, the crew, and the car. Tiny wheels his fast back forward into the winner's circle. His wife greets him, along with Miss Firebird and other admiring fans. The crew joins him in the winner's circle for the glory of getting home first and the biggest purse ever offered in a stock car race. A share of their winnings has been allotted to Marvin Panch by both Tiny and Glenn Wood. Win this race for Panch, Wood had said to Tiny before the race, and he did. It's been a long but memorable day for the drivers, the crews, and the fans. One that will not soon be forgotten. The 5th annual Daytona 500, a race that had everything: wind and rain, heart and hard driving, the performance and endurance of cars, fuels, and lubricants, proved in competition.